and welcome to another edition of Digital Asset Insights, where we explore some of the major trends and themes unfolding in the world of digital assets. My name is Baxter Hines. I am the Chief Investment Officer here at Honeycomb Digital Investments, and today is January 8th, 2022. I want to discuss one of the biggest news items that's unfolding today in the media in the blockchain space, and that has to do with video games. In my book, Digital Finance, Security Tokens and Unlocking the Real Potential of Blockchain, I included a graph that showed how the digital adoption, or people that were gravitating towards the blockchain, was basically mirroring what was seen in the mid 1990s with the growth of the internet. We're seeing this exponential trend that has many, many years of growth ahead of it, where people will continue to use blockchain assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other aspects of the blockchain, just like the number of people using the internet grew during the days of its infancy. And what I think people don't really realize is that because of the programmable nature of the blockchain, you can create apps on top of the chain and basically create this new ecosystem that is continuing to fill out. And just like the internet started out with simple things like email and really niche businesses that didn't seem to have a huge potential, those small businesses proved to be different use cases that could be scaled over time. Just to give you a quick example of that, eBay was founded by a gentleman who wanted to help his wife get more Pez dispensers. If you know anything about Pez dispensers, they're a form of candy where you have a plastic figure head on the top and you move the little head to have the candy dispense out of it. Really seemed like a gee whiz kind of product when eBay came around, but people noticed that over time, that if you could sell Pez dispensers, you could sell anything. And now today you have this multi-billion dollar business in eBay, and other businesses like that in the e-commerce space came along with it. We're seeing a similar thing happen with blockchain, where eventually I believe we'll start to see supply chains go onto the chain. You'll start to see digital identity, tokenized assets, decentralized finance. All of that will unfold and will create more adoption into the blockchain in general. And so I think that gaming creates this incredible use case for people to come to the blockchain. NFTs served as the first step. I saw actually that the word NFT, it's actually an acronym, but it was declared the word of the year for 2021. I think that gives you an idea of just how important and how recognized NFTs were as a major force that began in 2021. And by, again, tokenizing the ownership of images and videos and other types of intellectual property, it showed that the blockchain could be used at a greater scale. And it also gave a chance for people to start to engage in blockchain-based assets. And so again, that helps out with adoption. Well, video games, in my opinion, are really, again, ripe for blockchain use, because blockchain can really help to push the limits of what gaming can do. Blockchain can really help create a fairer, more transparent environment, and it can allow for ownership of items that are used or acquired while playing these games. And with people in society wanting to move away from big corporations, wanting to have a more decentralized type of environment, blockchain really provides that kind of an opportunity. Just to give a little bit of a historical perspective, Vitalik Buterin, the Russian-Canadian gentleman who started Ethereum back in 2017, before he developed the code that is now Ethereum, he was big into Bitcoin, but he was also a big gamer. And there was a moment that he described that really spawned his need to create Ethereum. And it happened because he was playing video games, and there was a character in one of these games that he loved that was extremely powerful. It could go out and kill all of these opponents, or there's some reason why he really liked that character. And the video game company that owned the software where he played the game decided that his character was too powerful, and they demoted that character. And it just set off this emotional chain of events within Vitalik Buterin, where he said he lost sleep for many nights in a row. And his anger fueled him to get to this point where he was determined to create a new blockchain that would make sure that never happened again to him or to anyone else. He wanted to own the property on the video games and wanted to make sure that no one could take that away from him. So it's a funny little piece of anecdotal evidence, but it again shows, where blockchain could potentially go in the video gaming space. Well, the news media is now really covering what's unfolding with blockchain and gaming. And I believe that this is an incredible gateway for more adoption. If people start to use these video games and through the blockchain, that just creates another way for them to engage and to potentially use other facets of the blockchain. Now, let's put all of this into perspective. The video game market is absolutely enormous. It generates over $85 billion a year in revenue just here in the United States per year. It's a $150 billion market worldwide, and forecasts show that is supposed to grow at about a 12% rate per annum through 2027. And so as people become more accustomed to using tokens and other facets of blockchain through video games, this is creating all kinds of buzz in the media. Some of the best performing tokens in the blockchain space have been video game related. Tokens like Engine, ticker ENJ, are up more than tenfold on a 1-year basis. Axie Infinity, ticker AXS, is up more than 100 times in value. In the last week, we saw where GameStop, that stock popped by 25% as it is talked about getting more into the blockchain space. Actually, GameStop is a Dallas-based company. And I've talked to some of the people that work for GameStop and for the magazine that they put out. We've discussed the opportunities. They know that this is the future of gaming. You've seen other big announcements out there. There's a company based in Asia called Animoca Brands. They're working with Hedera Hashgraph, one of the biggest holdings that we have in our fund. They're creating gaming products, and they've partnered up with groups like Formula One, the WWE, and other brands that you would know to create these new generations of games. And they've raised a ton of money in doing that. I would also point to other opportunities, like, for example, the Flow blockchain was specifically created to be used with video games. They've partnered with the UFC, Warner Music, University of California, Berkeley, and some of the big European or soccer or, depending on where you're watching from, football leagues, like the one in Spain, to create these video games. They were also involved in another high-profile use earlier in 2021 with Dapper Labs, where they created Top Shot for the National Basketball Association. That got a lot of publicity. So, what I think is really interesting about this new token-based video gaming system is that you can align the incentives of the gamers and the creators of these games to drive traffic. How do you do that? Well, first of all, the people that play the games, they know if they earn something in the game, it's going to be theirs. They're going to keep it. So there's incentives just naturally built into it. But a lot of times what will happen is when the game is created or the token that runs the game is created, a portion of the cap table will go to paying influencers or heavy game users, maybe people who win a competition. They will get awarded tokens. And if those tokens have monetary value or emotional value, people will start to use them. And that can create this trickling effect or this cascading effect where more and more people will gravitate to certain games if they feel that it's worth their while. Tokenization allows for that because of the easy transfer of value from one person to another and for the clear ownership of those assets. So like, for example, I've got this game here, Illuvium. That's another game that got a lot of buzz in the marketplace. So long and short, I think video games are really something to watch. This is going to be one of the big stories of 2022. The potential to drive adoptions and transactions on the blockchain is just incredible. This is a huge addressable market, and it's going to create a lot of opportunities for investment. Thank you so much for joining. We look forward to seeing you on another episode of Digital Asset Insights.